Hello hello there. Welcome. Um, Sorry for the delay. We're super excited to be streaming. This is the the first thing that first stream we're doing on this channel, and essentially we decided to bring on a really cool guest and someone who was very kind enough to come on and chill with us for like an hour or two, whatever works best. And we'd like to give a special warm welcome to Rei Kennex.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for
Thank you
joining
for
us.
inviting. Thanks for inviting.
Absolutely.
For sure.
That-
Yeah, but we got some fun questions for you, so we're gonna do this really chill and just have a fun Star Wars conversation.
yeah, pretty much.
Sounds good.
So before we start this off, let's welcome everyone in the chat real quick.
Yes. Mall Walker, how you doing, man?
Hey, what up?
Vor. Let me see. Ladaj, what's up, man?
Yes. Thank you guys for joining.
Ava, how you doing? Two Star Wars nerds.
Yes.
X-wing, welcome.
Obviously.
But yeah, thanks to everybody who's joining, and yeah,
Let's begin. So, Ray, we're gonna start this off with some, more like Star Wars personal story. And I would like to ask you, so in terms of like your Star Wars history, who or like what introduced you to Star Wars?
It wasn't really anyone who introduced me. I just went to the theater with my best friend to watch episode 2. So that was, I guess, the most memorable moment when I became a fan. So a long time ago. But then I had a big gap of not kind of being into it much because life happened and other things.
Mm,
But then I came back to it with The Force Awakens. Again, there was not anyone. I just saw the movie and loved it. So
mm.
that's how it all started.
So really, unlike a lot of Star Wars fans, because I feel like a lot of Star Wars fans usually, their parents or someone introduced them. So you really basically introduce yourself to Star Wars.
Well, basically yes, because growing up in Ukraine, you can imagine it was a very different place culturally.
Mm,
And Star Wars wasn't a big thing there at all. And my parents were very far from introducing me to Star
mhm,
Wars. And I was just reading Star Wars, no Star Wars. I'm sorry, I was reading sci-fi books that I had around that my grandfather bought, and there were classics like Herbert Wells and Isaac Asimov. So I was just basically growing up reading, not watching. So when I became older and we started to have more Western movies,
mm.
then I was able to, feed my geek obsession now with not just the books but also good films. So that's why it wasn't parents or it wasn't anyone in my family or even friends. I think I was the one who introduced all my friends to it.
Nice. Nice. That's pretty cool. Like being able to say like, yeah, I introduced my friends to Star Wars, and now they're fans too.
Well, I hope they're still fans, but my best friend still is, so we were together. So yeah.
fair enough.
Very nice.
Um, yeah, that's really cool. I mean, like we didn't necessarily introduce ourselves to Star Wars. Like it was more, I would say, for me.
Not at all, actually.
Yeah, not. My dad was just like, "Hey, I want you to sit down and watch this movie with me," and yeah, I didn't know I would be here and in love with this franchise, but I would say that my first question is, since you've made two really awesome fan films related to Star Wars, Ahsoka and Sakura, I'm curious, like, what Star Wars film inspired you to really want to try that yourself?
What film?
Yeah, like what Star Wars movie or like
Um,
or show even?
there wasn't even there wasn't just one. I guess it was just overall that I love storytelling and filmmaking, and at some point they had to merge together. Well, if I had to pick one, I would say Rebels, because Ahsoka from Rebels is my favorite Ahsoka, and
Mm,
I just wanted to take her out of the animated shows and make her real. Um, but while doing it, just doing the transition from animation to live action, of course, it's not an easy task if you're just by yourself. But
yeah.
I wanted to do it in a way that would still work on a smaller scale. So I guess it was Rebels. Yeah, if I had to just pick one show after watching Rebels and watching that Ahsoka, I was like, okay, we
Mm,
need to do something. She's awesome.
nice. That pretty much leads into my next question, which was gonna be so why and when did you get into cosplay? So we kind of covered the why part with your answer now, but like when did you get into cosplaying, like as Star Wars characters, or like most famously Ahsoka? Well, I suppose now after you watched Rebels. Oh, and was that the first cosplay you've done for Star Wars, or did you do
No,
any before?
that was not the first one. So it's the same thing as with the movie. So I watched The Force Awakens, and that was the same summer that I enrolled into film school. So that happened at the
Nice.
same time, and I just wanted to recreate Ray's outfit. That's what I wanted to do. I was like, you know what, that looks very cool, and I love the hairstyle, and I wonder if I could just make this costume because it just looks so cool and doable. So I did the costume, and then I found out that there are those things called conventions, because I just moved to LA at that time, and I didn't know about them. Like, I didn't know about cosplay much. So I found out that there were conventions happening, and I'm like, all right. So what do? You just wear your costume that you made to the convention, just walk around, and some friends were like, yeah, just just do it. So that's what I did, and I completely fell in love with the atmosphere and the people, and it was so much fun. So Ray was my first one, so I did Hera afterwards. I did Hera,
Nice.
and then I did Iden Versio, and then I did Ahsoka, I think.
Very nice. So, and I mean, now you're like really getting started off. I mean, now with, I mean, first with like your Sakura fan trailer, and now, no, excuse me, the Ahsoka fan trailer, and then the Sakura fan film. Which I mean, all those cosplays look absolutely stellar. I think
Yeah,
hardest part
amazing.
probably like for Sakura, for instance, what a lot of I think cosplayers probably struggle with the Leku.
Hmm.
I would have
Um,
said the blue paint.
No, the blue paint is the worst. It's the nightmare. The paint is always the nightmare.
yeah, especially with like someone like Ayla who
It's just
well
blue.
doesn't wear too many covering clothes. I suppose is the way to go about it. Like a lot of exposed skin. So
Yeah. But there's an interesting point, by the way, that you said. So I wore Ayla to the Star Wars celebration, and I did not want to paint myself that much, so I just came up with a creative trick. Just wore like a matching undershirt
mm,
under the costume that matched the costume, so it looked like, as if she was like in a cold climate, and she would have
yeah,
another shirt on. So it completely blended. No one even noticed that I didn't have my body painted at all.
that
So I guess if you just, be creative, that's one of the fun about cosplay. If you're just creative about it, and you can make things work for you even when normally they don't. Well, I couldn't do that for the movie, obviously, but for the
oh yeah,
convention.
but for a convention, 100%. Yeah, I think I
Yeah,
saw
Absolutely.
it,
and it's
and yeah, no, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, no, it definitely blended in.
yeah, so there
Absolutely.
there are ways. There's also a difference between cosplaying and costuming, and the Ayla I wore to the convention was definitely more of on a cosplay end of the spectrum. But for the movie, for Ahsoka, and for especially for Ayla, I would say this is film costuming. It's no longer a cosplay, and there's a big difference in how you approach the look of the character, how you make the parts, how you do the makeup, how you make the details. So there's a big difference, and sometimes it can kind of blur in between. It can be almost the same thing, but now that I've been doing it for a few years, I definitely see the distinction between the two. So
Mm,
for Ayla, that was definitely more a film costume. That was not a cosplay.
mm. Oh yeah, no, 100%. I mean, that looked very similar to what we see in the movies.
Thank you.
Um,
That was the goal, to replicate that
It looked
as much as
very screen
possible.
accurate. It looked amazing. I would I would say that the production quality on both of those is outstanding. I mean, I've tried my best to do, you know, I've tried to do Star Wars short films, and it's a very hard thing to do. And
Mhm.
I, for someone who wants to pursue a career sort of in that industry, I can understand that, like trying to get what you want, especially with Star Wars, can be a very difficult thing because it's technically, it's not real.
Mhm.
And so when visual effects come into play and getting the outfits and everything right, I would say that I was really impressed with, especially Sakura, the way that was shot, the way it looked. I didn't feel like I was watching a Star Wars fan film. It just felt like I
Thank
was
you.
watching Star Wars. It was great. I think he did an outstanding job. And the fact that it was since it's basically almost a short film. The fact that I thought it was, I don't know. I just think it was really well done. Major props. I
Hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah, on that note, I think at this point we can dive more deeply into Sakura, which I mean the Ahsoka project was a fan trail, which by the way, is there like still like an actual like film coming out to that, or was that just intended to be um the trailer
It
format?
was just intended to be the trailer because obviously it's so epic and big
Mm.
to do a movie about that. I mean,
Yeah,
the
that would.
bud you can imagine. So yeah, so but we decided since people received it so well and wanted more. So what we're doing is we're gonna do a little bit of and also like short film series. So we'll shoot little films that will tie in that story and fill in some gaps. And we weren't able to do it previously, well, because there was COVID, and then there was
Mm,
the last few months was back
yeah.
home. It was crazy. So that was kind of on a back burner, and we did a Sakura instead. But we're thinking about the next one. We're gonna shoot it pretty soon, I hope. It's just the problem that our ideas keep getting bigger and bigger, and
Mm,
it's very hard to do it logistically and financially. So we have to find out like a good medium. What can we do that's
mm.
really cool but still doable? But yes, we are planning to do more of little shorts for Fulcrum, and then continuation of Ayla, the next part.
Nice, very nice.
Yes, I hope so. I hope it's gonna happen.
Mm. I hope so too. And one thing that definitely stood out, and which I'm definitely I wanted to ask you about this is for Sakura. I definitely noticed that the locations were very cool.
Yeah.
I think Felicia is safe to say that was CGI.
Mhm.
Yeah. But that was stellar. I did not expect to actually see Felicia. Um,
No.
But yeah, no, that the first location planet just escaped me. But
So
It
look at
um
my
was.
yeah, Seleucama. Thank you. That was an actual location, right?
Yeah, it was an actual location. We tried to find something that looked like that planet. It's not
Mm,
exactly, but it has the same kind of feel. So
mm,
something volcanic and very wild and desolate. So
yeah.
yeah.
Where was that, if I may ask?
It's in California. It's about 4 or 5 hours north of Los Angeles. It's
Oh.
in a Death Valley or uh
Sounds
Okay.
nice.
Yeah.
basically, yeah, there's a if you just drive up north from LA on the way like maybe 2 hours and later you'll start seeing those very cool rock formations, and there's one that looks like Geonosis, and then there's one that looks
Mm,
like something else, and there's Vasquez rocks, and then even further north you get Joshua Tree, and a little bit to the side, and then all of those kind of um crazy landscapes, and they're all very different from each other. So
mm.
if you drive around, you'll see some weird stuff there, so canyons and things. So that's one of those places.
It almost sounds like a fan project maker's dreams of like an all-in-one package for like
Right.
Oh yeah.
You don't gotta
locations.
use the forest anymore.
Yeah,
No,
it's
but
like
yeah,
a
that's definitely stood
mhm.
out.
Yeah,
Thank
it was
you.
really good. I thought
Um,
honestly some of that was CGI, but I mean, obviously, like, I can't believe I forgot the name of the
Felicia.
Yeah, and like that was just really outstanding CGI. I mean, looked great.
Thank you. Yeah, we shot Felicia on the same location we shot everything else at, but we just had green screen. So
Hmm. Oh,
and
but like
then
you put green screen like in the desert, so to speak,
hmm
or oh, okay.
yeah, it was a very interesting because it doesn't look like a desert, but it is. It's just because of how that particular part is laid out. It looks
Hmm.
cold and doesn't look hot, so it's cool. But yeah, it's kind of a it's a good thing if you can, for whoever might use this tip, if you can shoot on location with a green screen, if your future idea takes place outside, then if you use the same lighting outside for that, then
Mm,
for whoever's doing the CGI, it's gonna have much better time working
mm,
with that footage rather than trying to match the inside to outside lighting and it look
mm.
more fake. So that's why we shot all the outdoorsy green screen stuff also outdoors.
Yeah, that's definitely a smart decision. I mean, natural lighting will just always be better than um
Oh yeah.
artificially projected light in a
Digital
studio.
lighting.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I
Um,
agree,
and you want to shoot the next question?
bro. I don't know who that is, but
Yeah.
sure. Um, so I would say that my next question leading into it is how long does that actually take to film? Are you there for like just an entire day? Do you got to come back? Is it
Hmm.
like a 2-day process? I'd
No,
assume
just
it's
one
less
day.
than a week.
No, it's one day. All of that was one day, but we had to move really fast, and it was a long day, and especially for me
Mm,
with all the body paint, because I had to get
To wear the paint
painted
all day.
and then drive and then be there by like not sun up, but almost almost at sunrise, so we could have as much light as we could, and so we used I guess every minute of it, even those last
mm.
shots with the clouds and dramatic everything. We were walking back in like complete dark from there, and it was just yeah, we barely had enough time, and we were supposed to. What's funny, we were supposed to move location, so in the middle of the
Oh.
day we were supposed to go somewhere else, well not too far, but we were
Mm,
supposed to pack everything and move like 15 minutes down the road, but we didn't have time at all to do that. So
mm,
we got creative and we used what we had, and it worked for the better, I think. And so yeah, so yeah, it was one day, but a very full day. We had storyboards, which really helped
mm,
streamline everything, so we could just go shot by shot by shot, so we didn't lose
mm,
any time. Sometimes, sometimes when you have time, when you know you only need a few shots and you're on location, you can, just do things and try things and play around and do some extra
mm,
shots just in case. But like not in this time. And this time it was very much like go go go,
mm.
next, 2 takes next. So.
Yeah, but it was definitely noticeable that there was a set structure or set plan for the story.
Mhm.
And like that's sort of also a question. Like what was sort of the preparation process before even thinking about shooting, and what was like sort of the inspiration to even like why do an Ayla fan film? Like what kind of got you guys started to be like that would be a cool character to dive into?
Yeah,
Well, production always involves more than you think it will because a million little details come up in the process. Like, getting that communicator device, which I realized I didn't have and we needed it for the
Mm,
shoot. So I had to order one from someone like very quickly from Ukraine. And so all of those little details. So production was pretty intense for this one, even
mm,
though it's just one day, but the story is so packed. So we need to make sure we had everything ready for the day, all of the props, all of the people, all the pretty big company. Like we had several cars.
mm,
Our Bly actor Jeremy, I had to fly him from San Francisco too because he's not even from here.
mm,
So just logistically, it was interesting to do it, and
mm,
then making sure we had all of the gear we needed, which was again much more than I initially anticipated. So always more budget than you think it's gonna be,
mhm,
because our DP is like, well, you're giving me just one or two lenses. Well, can I have the whole kit? I'm like, anamorphics are so expensive. Okay. And I would like this, this gimbal and this Steadicam and this. I'm like, oh my gosh, okay,
Mm,
all right. So trying to accommodate people, and if they ask for something for their work, I can try to get
mm,
it. So secure it, find it, rent it, and there's a lot. But why Sakura? Um, I think with Ahsoka just being so popular now, and everyone knows her and loves her, and she's like the top right now of her fandom fame.
mm.
Finally, the very well
Yes,
deserved. I think
indeed.
that I just wanted to break it a little bit and give some love and spotlight to a character that also deserves it very much, but not a lot of people know a lot about Ayla, and even though
Mm,
everyone's seen her or knows of her, Clone Wars episodes and a little bit in prequels, well, we'll just really just see her. She doesn't even talk there, but
mm,
it's that character that everyone knows. Oh yeah, sure, the Blue Jedi Twilight. But I read the comics about her, and there's a ton of comics, and
mm,
she just blew my mind how incredible she is. That character has such a deep lore and such an interesting personality story. Her adventures are crazy, and
mm.
no one knows about it. Well, except people who are really A-list fans who do. But most of the people, they have no idea. And
Oh yeah,
um, I was like, you know what? Well, she deserves to be known more. I want people to watch our little film, watch those little nuggets that we planted all over it, and say, hey, you know what? She's actually cool. I want to find out more about her. Let's read the comics and let's find out, what is this reference to Leku and her memories, and
yeah.
what is this Quinlan Voss? Why is he
That was a
there? And
deep one. I
Yeah.
like. I noticed you guys had a lot of good one, like good nods to like some comics, some older like EU
there's a
stuff.
ton, yeah, and there's
Yeah.
so much. And her bond with Bly, I want people to ask themselves, like, hey, why are they doing this? Why does she trust him like this? Like,
Mm,
what's up? What's happening? Um, and so there's a lot of little things like that, and I just want people to get interested in her and to get to know her better. Hopefully, in the next one, we get to explore some more of that stuff. But like she's Padawan of Quinlan Voss, and his teachings are very interesting. Like he's the one who teaches her to be in tune with who she is as a
mm,
Twi'lek, and she uses the Force in very interesting ways. Um, just her personality is so different because she's so in tune with her Twi'lek side, but also being a Jedi, but also she's such a rebel. She breaks the rules all the
mm.
time. If you think Anakin's a rebel,
Yeah,
haha. Like she could be a good competition to
I
him
think.
about
Yeah, I think.
witness. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's like one of the main things that a lot of people miss out on her, and I think that's actually one thing where Clone Wars actually did I think a really good job at like sort of bringing one of the EU characters across, because she was like normally
Mhm.
in Clone Wars you usually see Jedi reacting to Anakin as like reckless and stuff, and when Anakin was like knocked out and Ahsoka was talking to Ayla, you really like notice that Ayla was like he's one of the best, like he's like he's not like your average Jedi, like he goes, I guess, like where like what his heart is beating for in some
Mhm.
ways, and she's very much like that too. I thought that was that nice, and like yeah, as you said, like a very very strong bond with Bly. That was probably my favorite nod that you guys had in the film, when Order 66 comes down and when Bly is like resisting for a second. Because like I don't remember which comic it was, but I remember the comic, and like Bly essentially was like resisting, but the reason why he then started shooting was that he knew that if he resisted, his brothers would still like shoot her down. So
Yeah.
his mission was sort of like to make her end
Yeah.
as painless and quick as possible, which is like really sad. But
That is
I thought
so
that
Yes,
was
sad.
a
it
really
is
nice
very
nod you included there.
I think getting characterization like that as well is also really cool because in the movie, they don't hesitate. I mean,
mhm.
it's her death is all part of that Order 66 montage, but the clones, like in the movie, that you don't see them hesitate at all. Like Obi-Wan, Ki-Adi-Mundi, whoever was on the speeder bike.
Yeah.
And I mean, I like seeing like in the comic books and even in the fan films, seeing that extra characterization for the clones and the bonds they actually shared with their generals. Because I mean, other than Ahsoka and Rex, which we do get to see in the Clone Wars, I don't think we really got to see a lot of that. And Ladaj brought up a good point with classic Battlefront 2,
Yeah.
where you get to see the perspective of the clones and how they thought of their generals like Aayla Secura, Anakin, and Obi-Wan. And you could tell that because he says something like, it's a good thing we were wearing helmets that day, because we couldn't bear to look her in the eyes. And I mean, stuff like that is really interesting to see, because I feel like the Jedi and the clones did have such a personal attachment, and I'm just glad that we get to see that,
It's like
explore that more.
what you said, because it's a montage, the Order 66, then you can imagine some parts were cut out and we
Mm.
only saw the shooting point, but we didn't see the in between as much. So just for the time wise, like, if I was editing it, I could have cut it out because it drags it a little bit from the action. But so we can imagine it happened. And another good point about the bond that you said, the bond that the clones and some Jedi had. mm, Ayla is the character who's very interesting, especially in this relationship with her clone commander, because there's a conflict. It's not just like Ahsoka and Rex, where it's deep, almost like brotherhood ship friendship, when they're so bonded and for each other. With Bly, there's a conflict because they are similar but they're different. They're all about the mission, but at the same time, Bly is like 100% about the mission. But Ayla also has this Twi'lek side of her, which is very emotional and very force driven, and she also can bend the rules if she wants to, like, let's all remember Kit Fisto and that whole ordeal. But so yeah, so they have some interesting conflict within their relationship, even when Bly wants to attack Quinlan Voss because there's an order, he's a renegade Jedi, he needs to be destroyed, and Ayla stops him and is like, no, I don't care what the order says, he's my master, I believe he's good, and we're gonna try to save him. So and then she fights him herself anyway, but but the whole point is that they have some conflict, and Ayla has an internal conflict, which makes it so interesting to explore, not just outside but internal. And this way you can show her struggle with things. And she's not consistent. If you look at the comics, if you look at the Clone Wars, like you said, with Ahsoka, and if you look at prequels, but we don't see much of her. But anyways, but even between the two, there's no consistency in this character. It's almost like it's an entirely different character. And that's why I was researching. I was like, what the heck? Like, where's the real Ayla? Because in Clone Wars, she's just like, Ahsoka no, Ahsoka yes, Ahsoka do this, Ahsoka do that, and that's it. And in the comics, she's more stereotypical kick butt, like female action-y, whatever, more of that kind of a personality. So I wanted to bring together everything, a little bit of everything, and then some of my own vision, and make something cohesive. You know what I mean? So when you feel like, okay, I see a little bit of that, a little bit of this, so it's like a wholesome image. And I guess this was the main point in researching all of this and bringing it all together. So you see glimpses of each Ayla.
Oh yes, definitely. Like I think the first shot of her laying her hand on the dead clone trooper and like still like sort of, I guess, having hope of trying to save him.
Very Jedi thing.
Very empathetic.
Yes.
But yeah, other thing about the Ayla fan film, was there, because you mentioned you wanted to include aspects of, well, I guess the movie's less because she doesn't have dialogue, but Clone Wars and the EU and like comics, um was the same applied to the way you wanted to shoot it and the style? Because I did notice that the clones were in a Clone Wars style armor, instead of like Revenge of the Sith style. Was that also like sort of the intention of trying to mix those two worlds?
Well, yes and no. um, It was, let's say, a convenient coincidence because the friends that I have that had the clone armor, which would be good for the film, they had
Mm-hmm.
this animated style armor, which was incredible.
Mm.
And I didn't really have a preference, but since these guys were the ones to be in it, then I decided, like, you know what, if we are mixing it, then why not
Mm.
have the animated style brought to live action? It's something new
Mm.
also to see. And yeah, that's it. Kind of worked out. Sometimes just things do.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't blame you even if it was only like a cost decision because things like clone armor, especially when it's custom made, it's not cheap. But yeah, no, the costumes look stellar. I mean, Bly specifically, uh, very nice.
Yeah, Jeremy did a fantastic job. I think he's definitely one of the best ever that I've seen, and animated, if not the best. So they all worked themselves on the armor, and very talented guys. So I'm super thankful that they agreed to be in it
Mm.
and acted everything too, because body acting, it's
Yes.
it's also important. It was
Oh,
a lot of
100,
fun.
100%. No,
Uh,
I can bet that you guys had a lot of fun. Do you guys plan on like doing like a behind the scenes, or did you do something like that? Like filmed a bit of.
We barely had anything because everyone on set was busy, and
Mm.
there was supposed to be someone to film some things, but they couldn't make it that day. So even our photographers were very busy holding reflectors
Mm.
and green screens and everything. So no, we didn't film much. Maybe just a little bit, couple of clips. But we are gonna post whatever we have. We're planning a video on YouTube. The next one, kind of talking about some points about the film, and showing the inspiration, showing the behind the scenes shots, because people ask a lot of questions. So we wanted to put something like a little, like a summary. Especially there are a lot of questions about the accent and things like that. So they need explanation, or why this happened, why Yoda, and
Mm.
all of those. So I thought it'd be nice to explain that in a little video. So yeah.
Oh no, that's a great
yeah,
idea.
look forward to
The other half.
it.
Do you want to go on?
Yes. So I actually didn't write this one down, but now that you have sort of enlightened us more about Ayla, I'm curious. I just want to get your thoughts on this. Say that Ayla survived Order 66. She was able to escape. And she met up with Obi-Wan and Yoda. And let's say that now that Ayla is a part of their plan, I would say that she would go with Obi-Wan to get Anakin, while Yoda would still go fight Palpatine. Just because I think Yoda would realize that it, you know, Ayla was obviously not as powerful as the Emperor. I mean, I don't even think Yoda barely met like Yoda barely they Yoda and Palpatine's power, they barely matched. They were pretty much equals. But like you could tell that Yoda was still struggling against the Emperor. So I feel like if she was involved in that, she would have gone to with Obi-Wan to get Anakin and then have gone to assist Yoda with the Emperor. But my question is, do you think if Ayla was there, do you think she would have tried to turn Anakin back to the light, or do you think she would have still gone along with what Obi-Wan did and try and either kill him or bring him in at least? So I feel like Obi-Wan was under the mindset that like, okay, I don't want to do this at all, but like I absolutely have to. But I feel like with a different perspective there and a different Jedi there, I wonder what their I wonder what Ayla would have tried to do.
Well, I think she'd be too late to come to Anakin, if she survived. 'Cause it would take her a while to even get there physically.
Mm.
But
I mean, like meeting up with Yoda and Obi-Wan in the temple before they devised their plan.
okay, just before. Okay, interesting. If she was there, she would probably go to Anakin. I would say she would try to turn him first because she's very sensitive and she would feel there's good in him, same as
Mm.
Padme did. And she's all about finding the light in the dark and bringing it out because she did that before. That's her thing. So
Mm.
she would definitely try, and I think if she were there, it wouldn't end the way it ended, like so badly.
I
Mm.
think because when I watched Sakura, the ending, I felt like it was kind of left open ended when she's like, maybe we shouldn't go to Felucia, or kind of like that whole ending. I felt like it was very, I kind of got like a Chris Nolan vibe from that,
Yeah.
the way it ended, and
Mm.
just thinking about like if she didn't go to Felucia and when Order 66 was executed, I'm just thinking hypothetically she was able to meet up with Obi-Wan and Yoda, and they all three of them went to the temple, and then when Obi-Wan watched the holograms, and how all that plays out, I was just I think that's a good point. I feel like if even if the both of them went to go get Anakin, I feel like there would be a higher chance of being able to just capture Anakin and just bring him in rather than
Yes.
just having to kill him.
Definitely.
And I feel like with that sort of added advantage, maybe like what you said, she'd probably try and turn him back first. I feel like that would leave more room to even try that. And I think that'd just be like, like a really cool scenario to see. Or even like, so know a lot of the scenarios that I've seen, it's like, what if Ahsoka went with Obi-Wan? But that one's never interested me as much. But I think because I didn't realize this until my my our buddy Charlie mentioned this, that he was Ayla and Anakin were very similar with their fighting styles even.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just think that's a cool
Form
neat
5, yeah.
perspective.
Which is a good lead into what was your experience like learning the lightsaber
Yeah,
form?
what was it like
of
learning
Ayla?
the lightsaber, how to do Ayla's moves?
Oh man, that was fun. Well, I only had form 4. I only had a few weeks to train before the film, before we started to do this. So I had to really bust because before that I really didn't do much with the lightsaber. Just learn some, hit up, hit high, whatever. So it doesn't
Mm.
really count much. But I took it very seriously, and I knew that even though it's a small piece, but I had to make it look as good as I could because it's ours. It's a Jedi. I guess she
Mm.
can't just be clumsy or do whatever. So thankfully, it was just a training sequence, so it's not full on battle mode, and
Mm.
it's supposed to be easy for her and just a fun little exercise. So that's how like I was like, all right, well, I don't have to do super cool crazy stunts for this one.
Mm.
Yeah, so I was working with my trainer who taught me some of the movements, and then on my own I had to practice them and just
Mm.
make them like very very much like a part of my body, so my body could get used to it. Muscle memory. It's not easy
Mm.
when you've never done something like that before to make it look like you've been doing this all your life, and thankfully. I have a good athletic skills. I've been, always active and working out and all of that.
Mm.
So that made it so much easier, just to be overall in decent shape. But this is much harder than anything else to do right, especially when you have the costume and the heels, and when you're not
Mm.
in the gym, when you're on location, when it's a rocky ground, it's uneven, it's sandy, it has little rocks, and
Mm.
to balance on heels and do this was much harder
Yeah,
than
heels is
just
an
in new
interesting
sneakers.
choice. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, she had those,
No, I
even
know that.
though
Like, I mean, for a
yes.
I
Jedi, it's an
know.
interesting choice.
Well, she's a Twi'lek. She's like, I'm gonna be pretty while doing this. So yeah, well, I know they just probably put her in the boots that they had
Mm.
there, and now we have to suffer because of this. But
Mm.
yeah, but it was very interesting. I totally loved doing this, and like you said, the form 4 that Ayla uses. Um, I also did my research about what kind of movements she would do and why she would do them.
Mm.
It's Even though she practices the highly offensive form in the film, it's all about defending the ones she
Mm.
cares about. So in the film she's practicing the target practice because she
Mm.
wants to be better at defensive. Same as Obi-Wan, because he moves from offensive to defensive, so she
Mm.
wants to improve her defensive skills too, so she's kind of practicing that instead of offensive, but she still kind of ends up getting blind in the end, so she can help herself.
Mm.
So I did research on all of that as well. So it all is cohesive. It's very elegant. She's a Twi'lek, of course. So it's
Mm.
very elegant. It's almost like a dance with a sword. Um, it's what I wanted, but it's also strong, and it's also effective with all of the spins and things. So it was a lot of fun, and I definitely absolutely fell in love with it, and I'm practicing more. And the next one, hopefully, we can get like a lightsaber battle even or something like
Mm.
that, because I love it. It's a lot of fun, and I feel like I'm getting better and better. It's very inspiring when you see progress. Because you should
Mm.
have seen my first time I did it. It was horrible. It was like, oh my goodness.
Well, I haven't seen your first try in doing lightsaber forms, but I can very confidently say in the film it looked very, very
You look
smooth,
very,
very elegant,
very
and
civilized.
Thank
the
you.
forms, especially the last pose, that was like classic Ayla.
Oh,
Like
you
if
know where I
anything.
got this one? I want to, you want to know where I got that one? That was my favorite, actually. It's my favorite little snippet when the blaster flies past her head and she goes, "Beep," like ducks a little. Like, come on, this.
Mm,
So that pose is from a vintage collectible figurine of
mm,
Ayla that I have in my office.
very
So
nice.
it's almost the same pose. I showed it to my teacher, and I said, okay, I kind of want to end it on this because this is freaking amazing.
Mm.
And she said, well, if you break your foot, well, you can do the same pose, because her foot is like crooked, very weird. And she's like,
Hmm.
yeah, we can do that, but let's just change the foot position a little bit and the
Mm.
spine, because the spine would be broken as well if you do this with a weapon in your
Mm.
hand. So we adjusted it to be like more feasibly doable for a human being.
Yeah, no, but I remember that picture from summer. It might have been a cover of an action figure, but I remember Ayla doing a similar pose, and I was like, "Oh, yep,
Hmm.
that's very Ayla."
Yeah, that's
So
the
you guys
one.
definitely did a great job on that. Uh, yeah. By the way, for the chat, we are going to like the last 15 minutes or so. We're going to let you guys ask some questions if you have any. Um, but yeah. Aiden, do you have another question? The other half. Oh, the other half is gone. Never mind.
Oh, oh no, you left us.
um, this can only mean one thing: invasion. No, but let's see.
I
Hmm?
sorry, I'm back.
Okay.
Talking about the lightsaber stuff, I have a very interesting question. Just something that I struggle with all the time. How hard was it not to make the noises? Is it something I really need to
Oh
work
my
on?
gosh. Well, you know what? In the beginning, it was very hard not to make the noises, but I did not do the noises of the saber, but I did do the noises of the blaster hitting the saber.
Oh.
It was hard to do.
The filming crew like, yes, she's not doing the lightsaber sound. Deflects the lightsaber. Oh, damn it.
You do realize we'll put that in post, right? Like you don't. We have sound effects already. You don't got to do that.
Oh my
I
goodness,
appreciate the
no.
added effort.
It was horrible. No, well, the director told me about those blaster deflections. He's like, well, you can't just look wherever. You have to look at the imaginary blaster bolt coming
Mm,
at you. Otherwise, it just looks like you're hitting the air. So you
mm,
need to imagine every single blaster bolt coming to you. I'm like, well, it's coming very fast. Like I can't just like move my eyes so fast while I'm doing the choreography. So we were fighting about it, like where I should look and what I should do. So I think we came up with a alternative. And then someone in the comments were like, well, she needs to know where the blasters are coming because she has the force and she can predict. I'm like, no, she can't predict. No.
I
Oh,
think
it was
that
it was it was actually
yeah,
funny.
that
tell it to
reminds
any Jedi in the Jedi Temple if they were able to
right.
predict the
They're able
blasters.
to predict the.
He's like, no, she can't. So she's just gonna. I did. It was interesting to do. I was thinking she had probably has good sight vision. So if the blaster comes
Mm,
out of the gun, she will look at the gun.
I that kind of reminds me of a story that Ewan McGregor shared about when he was making Revenge of the Sith, and they were just on a pure green screen stage, like green screens everywhere, and George is like, "Oh yeah, just look at the moon," and everyone's like looking around, like, "Yo, where's the moon?"
Where's the moon?
Like,
Yeah,
it's
pretty
just
much.
all green screen.
Yeah, you have to look exactly where you're supposed to, otherwise in
Hmm.
post production it's gonna be a nightmare.
Hmm. Yeah, I bet that. Well, last thing that I just remembered about the deflecting and then at the end just slightly moving and the blaster bolt missing. That was also a very Anakin, like season
Hmm.
7 of Clone Wars move.
Mm-hmm.
By him just standing there, like moving slightly to avoid the blaster, but like you're not even trying.
Yeah, yeah, I love that little piece. There's just so much like her personality too. It's just so playful.
Hmm.
It's like
No, no, I
there's
mean,
also like an undercurrent of like deep confidence there too. I really liked that. That was great.
hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's those little things that make up a character,
Hmm.
and little movements or little things like that, and together, like you have this understanding of who they are without them saying anything. I think that's a
Hmm.
really cool way to do that. Or like
Yeah.
you can almost see when she says you won't. You can always see how Vi's like rolling his eyes in the helmet
Yeah.
because she's like, come on, shoot
Mm-hmm.
properly. You can almost like feel it. It's just so much fun to do that.
Indeed. No, that definitely gave off that vibe. All right, so I guess yep, 15 minutes. So we're going to go over. So anyone in the chat who now wants to ask questions to
What's up,
our
JT?
fantastic guest today,
Yes.
go ahead. Hold on, we didn't pull up JT's comment again.
Okay.
All right. Ever consider cosplaying a Night Sister? And
I
yes, JT's a big Maul fan, so that's the
He's the
second
voice
part
of
of the.
Maul. He
I
is
love
technically the voice of
Maul.
Maul on this channel.
Hmm.
I love Maul. No, I have not considered the Night Sister. I guess I don't make characters that I'm not like heavily invested into.
Hmm.
So even though I like Night Sisters, but not enough to invest all the effort into making myself into one.
And it's also
I,
another
I
cosplay that includes complete body
Yeah.
paint.
Oh gosh, yeah, body paint. It's horrible. What do
yeah.
you think about the holiday special? I do not think about it.
Fair enough.
I try not to think about it. I think
Yeah,
it's so psychedelic as heck, and
yeah. Luke
can
and
be
Leia also had a lot of body paint on that one.
Yeah.
traumatizing for little children.
Oh
So,
yes, yes.
no.
Was
I-
fortunate enough to not see it as a kid.
no. Yeah, I don't. I watched it once and that's it. How many people did it take to make the Sakura film? Oh gosh, I'd say around 20, maybe less, but it's everyone, including the
Hmm.
voices and the post production, and maybe less than 20 actually, maybe 15. There's a scrolling credits that has everyone involved in there, so yeah, I'd say maybe like 15 or so.
Yeah. I should watch the credits and start counting.
Yeah, you can count in the credits, including the music and
Hmm.
the assistants on set. Yep.
Oh
The
yeah,
music
until
was really
we
good
we get
too.
the yeah, I was about to say like until we get the next question, like the music, that was like original music.
Hmm.
So yeah, and it definitely fit the whole vibe. Um, so like any sort of specific input you gave to your composer
Yes,
on that?
yeah, we were working together very, very closely throughout the whole thing on the music because Dan is fantastic. He's very talented, and well, you could hear it, and
Hmm.
he was also very interested in hearing my opinions and my thoughts, and guide him through the story, because I think this is how the best way to work with your composer is when you have a vision for the story and a very good understanding of all of the emotional beats, all the characters, all the arcs. So when you can communicate that to your composer, then he will understand basically what he's working with, which moment has to be what, and then all
Hmm.
he has to do is kind of compose the emotions, those
Hmm.
emotions that you make it clear for the story for him. And he wanted to make sure that every single little beat was understood correctly and was conveyed correctly, and I appreciate that a lot because a lot of composers, they just kind of do their own interpretation, but since it's such a short film,
Hmm.
thankfully we can literally like sit second by second and say, okay, here's this is happening, so the music might do this, or what do you think? So we were just
Hmm.
brainstorming ideas, and So I think that that's an amazing collaboration, and I felt so confident that he'll do a fantastic job conveying all the good beats,
It
and
was great.
Ayla's
Mm,
theme as well was super important to me, probably the most important thing in the whole film. And
mm,
I described it to him, and he came up with this melody. It was the first one he came up with, and I was like, "Yes, this is amazing." So yeah, but I guess it's the key to success is knowing your story and your characters and the
mm,
vibe very well. This way, if you communicate it clearly, then the composer won't have a problem, because for him it's also hard to guess. Like, okay, what
mm,
do you want here to, what do you want this moment to sound like, basically? And if you
mm,
explain, like, I want this to be like a dark, menacing feel, something like Order 66, for him it's completely clear, so it's easier for
mm,
him to do his job. Same as for the actor, when you have a very
mm.
exact direction, what this beat has to be, it's so easy to work with it. Yeah, so Dan, yeah, is incredible. I can't say enough good things about him. He did an absolutely phenomenal job on the score. It's as good as
Mm.
any Star Wars music out there. It's probably
I
my favorite theme.
It was
Yeah.
I
really
agree.
good.
It very much blended into those classic Star Wars themes, and it's
It
great
was,
to hear that you guys and well, I mean it's great to hear, but it was pretty obvious that you guys had a really
yeah.
good work relationship going on, and I think that is something that is very valuable, especially for fan projects,
I
because I
should
think
say that's
for a
something
lot of them
that's
that's not
really
a given.
yes. I mean,
Yeah, you
I,
have to have a lot of
it,
trust in each other.
Mm,
it was great. That's all I mean, yeah, that's really all I got to say about the theme. It was really good, really well made, and it's cool that you guys really got to collaborate on it together.
Yeah, I'm hopefully not the last time. I'm gonna try to coerce
mm.
Dan into doing more.
Oh yeah, I mean you should if he's able to. I mean you should let him score. I mean pretty much everything at this
Yeah.
point. I mean,
That'd be fantastic, actually. So we'll see what we can do. I'm sure, like, he has other projects to do that
mm,
um for his own normal job.
mm.
But we'll see. I know he loves Star Wars a lot, and it's just so much fun to do this.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's the most important step.
Exactly.
But
Welcome,
I saw.
Charlie.
Yes, welcome
Charlie,
Charlie.
How you doing,
hello.
bro?
We already mentioned you earlier. And Devore asked the question, favorite lightsaber.
Oh, that's a hard one. Well,
Mm,
probably Ahsoka's white ones, her fulcrum ones, are
yep,
my favorite.
Fair enough. They
very
are pretty.
iconic at this point.
Yes, very very cool lightsabers indeed.
Yes.
Uh,
Here's
Part two.
one.
Oh, okay. Mall Walker asked. I think we talked about this. You guys have not started on part two
When
yet, right?
Yes, we already drafted it, like what's gonna happen
Mm,
next.
okay.
So there is some kind of a story. Now we just need to start producing it, meaning finding the locations and the actors and all that. But I
Mm,
think Fulcrum is gonna be next. Like the next short that fits into Fulcrum is gonna be the next one, and then we're back to Ayla.
mm.
It'll take a little bit. It'll take a little bit of prep.
Oh yeah.
We're
Especially if
excited
you guys want to
regardless.
film in one day again. That's
Yeah.
gotta take preparation.
Oh boy, I can't believe I'm highlighting this.
Nah, why? Is there like a backstory I need to know?
She is she's always trying to get a reaction out of us because we all hate Ponkrell
Well,
for
who doesn't?
obvious reasons. Yes.
Yes.
It's
Just
terrible.
say you don't like him and that you're very thankful that he died, and we're good.
Okay,
Like,
what he said.
see that's how everyone feels about Ponkrell.
Mall Walker has the right idea. How many times should Ponkrell be blasted for treason? Yes.
No,
Yes.
I love clones, and anyone who hurts clones is a bad person.
The fact that that oh my gosh, yeah, like the whole plot is just Ponkrell is a great character, but that's because I hate him.
Yeah,
Exactly. He was
exactly.
meant if you like Ponkrell, there's something wrong going
I'm
on there.
I'm sorry, because of him, one of my favorite clones, Waxer, died. He didn't
I
get to
know.
see Numa again.
I
I
know.
absolutely hate
Horrible.
him.
Horrible.
uh yeah, but Charlie just pointing out that your Form 5 was amazingly done.
You mean
Indeed.
I
4?
have to agree. Oh damn! Calling the master out. The Padawan has become the master now.
No, let's just say no. Let's like bring the fairness into this. So she did both 4 and 5, but the main one was the 4. So he's not wrong.
Both forms looked great.
Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate
Very well
that
done.
from the master.
Yep.
Charlie
you
definitely
started-
is indeed the master.
Yep.
Nah, and
Oh
I'll
my-
never be as cool as Charlie.
I mean, we all strive to
Yeah.
be strive to be as cool as Charlie, but we all fail.
Yeah.
uh.
I,
Oh no, War clones are kind of disposable. How dare you?
hold up, Vor. I
Not
just gave
to
you
me.
I just gave you the mod wrench, and this is what you comment. I gave you the wrench.
Oh man. Yeah, but
Disappointed in you, Vor.
we have 5 minutes left.
Yeah.
Anything that is coming out soon, or anything
Anything
that
you'd like
you're
to
very
say?
excited about working on? So
Well,
plug whatever you want.
Yeah, pretty much.
well, I'm hoping that soon I'm gonna be finishing my Clone Wars season 3 to 5 Ahsoka, the Snape's variant. So
Oh, nice.
as soon as she's ready, there'll be something fun with her. At the meantime, just it's the plotting time where we're plotting the next stories.
Mm,
So yes, just on Instagram and YouTube, wherever there's something that pops up, that's where you can find it. And there's usually something in the works at all times, and sometimes there's surprises. So I can't promise what's coming next.
mm.
Who knows?
Fair enough.
Yeah, I know you guys have like some fun shorts sometimes on your Instagram. Like I remember, what was it, Christmas? I think with Ahsoka and
Yeah.
Vader. Yeah.
Yeah. That will be
Um,
something.
Yeah. So a
Uh,
lot of fun stuff. I think we have both I know we have the YouTube link. Do we have the Instagram linked?
I did not link the Instagram page,
All right,
but I
well,
will.
We will. So when you refresh
That's
the
my
stream
bad.
on the rewatch, we will have
Yes.
included the link to the
Thank you.
Instagram as well.
And I do have one question, just out of curiosity. How was celebration?
Very good one.
It was so crazy. It was crazier than in Chicago, definitely. It was just insanity.
Hmm.
It was so much to see and to do, and so many people to say hello to, and it was so spread out that very much everyone was running like crazy person at every time, like at any direction. So I didn't even see the whole inside pretty much because I didn't have time to get to it. But it was incredible. The displays were so cool. The Mando exhibit was really interesting, like a museum of everything, of costumes and props and ships. It was the panels were really cool, really very interesting. Lot of people from all over the world as usual, so you get to say hi to someone you met online only. And I think that one more day would be really beneficial because people could do their shopping at least because everyone was just running trying to see everything and everyone. So
Yeah.
it was very very crazy but very fun. So it felt like a big party.
Yeah. No,
Were you
I can
there?
imagine that being a blast.
Were you there? Did you get to see did you get the chance at all to see Hayden and Ewan when they were live on stage? Like, were you in the audience for that?
Yes, I was. I saw Ewan. I didn't see Hayden on stage, but I saw pretty much a lot of people. I was in line for a photo op, and it was right next to the stage, our line, and it was pretty long time. So everyone got to be on stage while we were there, so we got to see everyone.
That's cool. That's so cool.
Did you get to hear "This is where the fun begins" on stage?
Yes.
No, I did not hear that. I didn't see Hayden on stage.
Okay.
But I heard that on the video somebody posted. Oh well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they've only started to returning, so I think we're going to see them again at events.
Yes.
But
Oh,
no,
for
that's
sure.
definitely. I can't imagine how awesome it is. Like just to see
Just to
bunch
go
of
to an
Star
event
Wars
like
fans like in cosplays, not in cosplays, but everyone's just hyped. Can't imagine what the overall atmosphere is like.
Yeah, everyone's running on adrenaline. That's what it was. Like
Mm.
imagine gathering like thousands of your friends, and then
Mm.
everyone drinks as much coffee as they can handle, and then they all run around in a convention center. That's what it was like.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Okay, but no,
Yes.
thank you so much for
Absolutely.
spending 1 hour with us.
My
Yeah.
Very
pleasure.
thankful
so
for your
much for
time.
just coming on and chilling.
Yes.
Sure, that's fun. I like
We
that.
hope. Yes. Oh, that's. We're glad about that. We hope
Yeah.
you enjoyed those
We
questions.
hope.
We tried
Hopefully
to
we
make
weren't.
them
Yeah.
interesting and not
No,
straightforward.
Hopefully we weren't terrible
they were.
hosts.
No, they were. I like it.
Yeah. No, but yes, our first interview on the channel,
Yeah.
successful.
Thank
Hell
And
you.
yeah.
yeah, thanks to everyone for watching.
Thank
And
you, Chad.
Should we end it together with saying the "May the Force be with you"? I feel like that would be appropriate.
yes, I agree.
Okay, so on three. 1,
Three.
2, 3. May
May the
the
Force be
Force
with
be
you.
with you always.
And take care.